Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesdays with Wendy, where we make small business ownership less stressful, one step at a time. Today is our last installment of the September as New Year series we're doing. You can see I still have my New Year's garland up there. And today I'm going to give you some practical tips about how to get started keeping track of your finances. If you haven't seen me before, welcome. My name is Wendy Kane. I'm the owner of Kane Accounting and Financial Coaching. I do bookkeeping and payroll for independent contractors and small businesses so that you can have peace at tax time and throughout the rest of the year. Okay, this is the last part of the talk I gave at Startup Junkie on September 2nd. And these are some practical software applications and methods that you can use to keep track of your business finances. The first one is QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online has been around over 10 years now, maybe 15. It is the gold standard when it comes to accounting software. They started many years ago with desktop versions and, of course, moved to online. And they are just they're kind of like Apple. I mean, yes, they have a bit of a monopoly on things. They're owned by Intuit, which also owns TurboTax and Mint Mobile, or Mint, not mobile, sorry. The bookkeeping, the personal finance software Mint. And, obviously it's a huge juggernaut of things, but because of that, they can offer a really good platform at a pretty decent price. And so if you're going to go with QuickBooks Online, I suggest starting with the lowest subscription level. Just like all subscriptions, they make upgrading easy, downgrading not necessarily as easy. So start with the smallest, the lowest level. You can always go up. And I think that's called Simple Start right now. They change the names every now and then. And they change the prices too. So you'll just have to go to their website and see what the current price is. I do have an affiliate link, and I will drop that in the comments. It might save you a few bucks if you would like to click on that. Another accounting software that works almost as good as QuickBooks Online, practically the same, is called Xero, and now it's spelled Xero. And this is a software, it looks a lot like QuickBooks Online. They're a little newer than QuickBooks Online, and when I first used it for a client, I didn't like it as much, but they have improved a lot. And so I would recommend you check out Xero if you aren't interested in going with the QuickBooks Online Intuit, you know, big juggernaut of software. Another software that I can't believe I'm recommending this, and I'm going to give it with a caveat because I've not personally used it. I've only heard other accountants say it's better now. FreshBooks. Okay, so about 10 years ago, when I first heard of FreshBooks, I had a client who was using it to invoice her customers, and she wanted me to help her with that. And I looked at FreshBooks, and back then, all it was invoicing software. That's all it did. It didn't have a place for a bank account, a credit card account, no way to record the assets or loans. In short, it invoiced customers and kept track of some expenses related to those customers. It was not a full accounting system. And so for the longest time, I did not recommend it. I'm sorry, because it just wasn't functional. I have heard now from other accountants that it has gotten better and they have made it a double entry bookkeeping system. So that's the complete, you can get the balance sheet along with the income statement. Like I said, I've never personally used it, so I can't say for sure how well it works, but some nationally known accountants are recommending it. So if they are, I trust that it's probably worth looking into. Um, yeah, back in the day when it first started, even though it had books in the name, it was not bookkeeping software. Very frustrating and very confusing for customers who thought they could use it. Along the same lines is an accounting software called Wave. Wave is its advantage is that it's very affordable. And so if you are just starting out and the QuickBooks subscription looks a bit too much for you right now, you can get started with Wave. Again, I hesitate to recommend it because I've never personally used it, but I do know people who are using it, and it's probably good for a business in its early stages. If you just need to keep track of, you're invoicing your clients out of it, keeping track of your expenses, and it will get you through tax time and get that done. That's probably a good way to go to start out. Once you start making some actual money and actually you've got like, okay, I think we've got a thing here, like this business is growing, you need to look into some more robust accounting software that would get you further down the road. These last two methods I'm going to mention, these are I really have no other alternative methods. And they will work, but they're really just like, well, you got to do something. The first one of these methods is Excel, good old Microsoft Excel. If you are tech savvy enough to know how to download your bank and credit card transactions into a CSV file, you can probably set up Excel to filter and calculate and categorize your income and your expenses. Now, that takes a lot of Excel know-how. And so if you aren't handy with the spreadsheet, do not use this method because you won't know how to do it. But if you are, if your brain works like mine and you're like, oh, I know how to do Excel, you can probably use that to set it up and get close. Again, it's not accounting software. It's not going to tell you everything that even Wave or FreshBooks would tell you, but it will help you at least summarize your income and categorize some of your expenses. It's better than nothing. And then last and least is the highlight and tally method. This is truly bottom of the barrel. I have no other alternative. I don't know how to use Excel. I can't afford accounting software. I am just starting out. If you do nothing else, what I want you to do is get a copy of your bank statement every month from your business bank account. And then I want you to look on there. I want you to tally your customer deposits, which should be, unless you're putting money in, all the deposits should be from customers. Because remember, you're not commingling your funds with your personal. That's a big no-no, and we're going to stop that right now if you're doing it. So you've got your business bank account. You're going to tally up, add up how many deposits you've had. That's your sales. And then you can go through, do whatever method you want. Highlight in different colors. I'm an office supply junkie, love highlighters. You can highlight the different types of expenses each month and then tally them up on the bank statement. I like to go old school and print it out on paper and highlight, and use a calculator, add them up and get totals. And then once the year is over, you can take your totals from each month, total all of them up, give that information to your tax preparer, and they'll be able to do your tax return based on that information. Will it be perfect? No. Does it help you further your business and grow your business? No, not really. It's really just this is I need to get my taxes done type of method. But it's better than nothing, and it will at least show you how much you're bringing in, how much you're spending, and give you some ballpark idea of how well your business is doing. So that is 6 ways to start keeping track of your business's finances. If you don't want to do that yourself, go to my website and book a free call and let's talk and see if I can help you with some of that. I would love to take that off your plate. So that is finishing up our September as New Year series. And you remember I had my New Year. I wish it made noise. These are the kind that don't make noise. If you do all this stuff, you won't just have September as a good New Year. When the calendar actually switches over to January 1st, you will have your bookkeeping and your financial records almost done. Maybe you got a few December days to do in there. That way, you can get your information to your tax preparer and get that tax return done and get your tax refund, hopefully, earlier than you normally would. There will be no scrambling in September or October because you will have your stuff ready to go as soon as they open their doors in January. And that makes for a very happy new year. Y'all have a good day.